This video is called 17 again. The 25-year-old who played high school basketball. Now, how does a 25-year-old man get his ass onto a high school basketball roster? I have no absolute idea at all, gang. 25, bro. This real life. Once you get to 25, you pushing 30, gang. Bro, you probably got a baby mama or two by this point. So how do you end up back in high school with a bunch of little kids, bro? Little minors. You got to think high school varsity team, it be 16-year-olds. You know, it's always the freshman he has potential, but he's not there yet. He on the bench, but he's still practicing with y'all. It's a whole 10-year age gap, gang. You ain't got no business being here, bro. Right, let's take the video from the top.
In 2018, a Texas high school basketball team had a new star player.
What's up, Cash Out,
A 17-year-old transfer student from Houston who seemed a little bit older, a little more polished, and a lot better than the competition. Turns out that he was, because he wasn't 17, he was actually 25. After finding a major loophole in the system, Sidney Gilstrap Portley went undercover in Dallas and tried his hand at high school basketball.
Boy came to Dallas with it. This would be the only place this would take place, in Dallas.
The second time around. Today we're going to go into the story of a man who was an adult that pretended to be a teenager, and for a while he actually pulled it off. Was he someone that wanted to relive his high school glory days? Or did he have a genius plan to make it out of a situation that he almost got away with? What made him do it? How did nobody notice? And did he take his hoop dreams too far with a plan that sounds like it's straight out of a movie?
He's definitely one of one. This is some shit you'll see on the movie.
Now I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like when I first seen the story, right? I was like, bro, this sounds like somebody from a movie.
My mama, everybody said that.
One of the coaches that played him said that he was unstoppable out on the court. It sounds like the plot of a movie. In fact, I think
why he doing interviews like if he just won an NBA championship or some shit, and he laughing about it, like watching The Last Dance.
Said that he was unstoppable out on the court. It sounds like the plot of a movie. In fact, I think it was one back in the 90s.
He gamed the system since August at not one, but 3 different schools.
Today, how did a 25-year-old man enroll in Dallas ISD as a student?
He fooled us, he did. And it's painful to even say that.
They feel like stupid that they didn't realize it.
Was he trying to get an education or, I don't know. 25. We old.
But hell no, he ain't trying to get no goddamn education, bro. Come on, man. Anybody that's 25 going back to school, you just go to college, bro. Who want to go to class where you got to go to, come on, English 1, English 2? You fresh off the boat, what's them classes going to real life do for you?
Sidney Bouvier Gilstrap Portley was born on November 16, 1992 in Dallas, Texas, to his parents Angela and Sidney Sr. His father was incarcerated at the time of his birth, so he, his mother, and his grandmother moved around for a few months before they settled into the 6-4 Ferguson Projects in East Dallas, which is an area well known for his gangs and his drug dealing.
And we out here all day, every day, snapping in. Every day, I ain't gonna lie, I got my bank account.
The drug dealer would hit close to home for him when his father, while he was around, would actually make Sidney help him sell marijuana.
Putting in our underwear, and he said, and he would send us to the door and stuff like that.
He excelled in all sports, but his early love for LeBron James made him gravitate towards basketball at the age of 11. He showed early promise, with people in the neighborhood comparing him to Baron Davis, Monte Ellis, and Josh Smith.
Who's niggas first NBA love? I think my first NBA love, bro, it was Bron, gang. Bron used to be on one. I think that's for everybody that was born like 2000s and ahead. That boy Bron, especially whenever he was in Miami, he was that man, boy. Bron, I used to have all his shoes. That's way back whenever you could wear hoop shoes with like khaki pants. These right here. I stole some from my Asian homeboy. His name was Jimmy. But then I used to get them. I got him 2 times. These and Black Ops 2. Told him, hey, bro, let me borrow them. He never got them back, bro. It was these ones right here, too. Yeah, the pure platinums. I think they was fufu, though. I ain't gonna care. But, like, in elementary school, nobody knew they was fufu.
When it was time for high school, his father saw his talent and convinced Sidney to move in with him in Plano, Texas, so he can attend Plano Vines High School. His father thought that getting him away from his rough environment in Ferguson would be good for him. Plus, he thought that he would be able to dominate all the suburban kids there in basketball. His time in Plano didn't last long, however, because his father would end up being arrested again, which led to him moving back with his mother and transferring to North Mesquite High School back in Dallas, where he would play junior varsity basketball as a freshman. Sidney's immaturity would get the best of him at North Mesquite High, throwing the ball into the stands when he didn't like calls made by the refs. He would get into fights, he showed up drunk to a game, and impregnated his girlfriend. On top of all of that, he had a reputation for being a selfish player that had more of a playground style of basketball.
Bro, you know how wild of a nigga you gotta be, gang. Nigga call it travel on you. You say fuck it and just grab the ball and throw it into the stands. Hit a random wife and kids. Motherfucker in the stands eating they nachos. Not the nachos then dropped. Ball then hit him in the head. He damn near got a grade 1 concussion. And you drunk on the court, gang. They say he was doing all this as a freshman?
The final straw came his senior season in a game where he got into a shouting match with a fan in the stands, which led to his coach kicking him off the team before the playoffs began.
But they used to take shots before school started at your school? Dropping 30? Doing all that, dropping 30. Damn, he might really could have been something if he was sober and had his mind on straight. Depending on how tall he was. In elementary school, I bought the Dior 1 reps, and every kid except like 3 thought they was real. They treated me like I was special. Yeah, they really how it be, gang. In middle school, like, hierarchy works by whoever got the flyest shoes, gang. It's just not about grades. You could be failing every single class. You could be absolute garbage at every sport. If you come to school every day and you got shoe game, I don't know if it done changed that. I don't think it did. But if you got shoe game, you got a new shoe for every day of the week, you that guy, gang. Everybody gonna want to be your friend. You gonna have the most girlfriends. You just gonna be him. That's the easiest way to be him.
He would graduate from North Mesquite High in 2011, but he still wanted to chase his basketball dreams.
Sidney Baudier, Gilstrap, Portland.
Now he graduated in 2011.
For the next few years, he would try to do things the right way, bouncing around for a few different college teams and semi-pro teams.
I went to Texas Wesleyan. I played at Eastfield. I played at DCC. I played at Sagoon. If
y'all don't know, them is all community colleges, okay? So that's JUCO.
I done transferred like 5 colleges. That shit get old after a while. Yeah, you getting the same results every time. What I'm gonna keep doing that shit for? Then I played for 3 semi-pro teams, same results. Like, yeah, that shit ain't working out.
He would seemingly give up on his basketball dreams and enter the workforce to support himself and his son, who was born in 2014, but he would still play basketball at the local rec centers, where the high school kids there would ask him if he could help them with their game. One of the kids would ask Sidney, who was years removed from high school, if he would join his AAU team, the Texas Elite Ballers, as a player. AAU is for kids that are 18 and under, but if you guys know about AAU, it's lawless over there. They don't really verify a lot of paperwork, and they just want their money.
Hell yeah, you could show up to a tournament and just pick up a jersey and get in. I could get into the AAU game this weekend if I wanted to. Did he ever think maybe he just wasn't good enough to play at the next level? Hell no, obviously not, gang. He doing anything.
Exactly how well he played in the tournament, but one of his teammates clearly had fun with Sidney because he suggested that it would be fun if they played together on the Skyline High School team. Sidney brushed the statement off in the moment, but whoever this kid was planted a seed in Sidney's mind that would change his life.
What's up, Jakes?
Sidney playing in that AAU tournament made him realize 2 things. 1, that he still had the talent to succeed in basketball, and 2, that he could actually pass as a high schooler.
No, he does not have the talent. You a grown man, bro.
Then he had the idea. If he could sneak his way into playing some high school games, he would be able to get some game film and show it to some professional teams overseas and hopefully have a pro basketball career.
You grown.
He called around to some schools and asked what was necessary for a student to enroll, and this is how he found a major loophole.
Hurricane Harvey is ripping into the Gulf Coast. Residents of Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana now bracing for the worst.
And the historic flood disaster in southeast Texas is likely to continue for days or even weeks. The news is not good there this morning. Rescue crews worked all night long in Houston, pulling stranded people out of vehicles and homes.
Most of America's fourth largest city is now underwater. Radar shows no end to the rain from Tropical Storm Harvey, which made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane more than 48 hours ago.
The summer of 2017 saw the most active American hurricane season ever, and started to reach its peak on August 17th when Hurricane Harvey began to form. It started in the Caribbean as just a tropical storm, and then as west and became much stronger as it approached the United States. By August 26th, it turned into a full-blown Category 4 hurricane with maximum wind speeds of 130 miles per hour, and it would hit the southern part of Texas that morning, reaching cities like Austin and Houston. These areas saw record-breaking amounts of rainfall and caused $51 billion in Texas alone, making this the most expensive storm in state history. 103 people lost their lives due to the storm, and 336,000 people were left without electricity, and over 40,000 people lost their homes. Of the people that became homeless, nearly 24,000 of them were students.
Damn, bruh.
The McKinney-Vento Act is a federal act that says every school district must enroll homeless students even without important documents such as proof of residency and transcripts. This act became important after Hurricane Harvey because of how many students became homeless, which brings us back to Sidney Gilstrap. When Sidney began calling around to see how he can get back into high school, he found out that he's not going to need any documentation at all as long as he tells them he's a hurricane refugee. As bad as the hurricane was, Dallas was unaffected by it, so Sidney realized that he could enroll in a Dallas school and just tell them that he was from Houston and lost his home to Hurricane Harvey. He would take his son's middle name, Rashawn, and his grandmother's last name, Richardson, and here, Rashawn Sidney Richardson was born.
On
August 30th, 2017, a 24-year-old Sidney would enroll in Skyline High School in Dallas as 17-year-old Rashawn Richardson. Skyline had 4,700 students, so it was easy for him to blend in, but it meant more competition.
4,700? But how many people was in y'all's high school? Because I'm already know that teacher-to-student ratio got to be like 35-1. Then again, it's Skyline, bro. I forgot. Yeah, by the time we get to like second month of school, that 4,700 or whatever the hell then dropped down to 28.
This is for him to get minutes during basketball season. He stayed there for 2 months, then on October 26th,
the Skyline is a school in Dallas.
One day later, on October 27th, he changed his mind and showed up at Hillcrest High School and began to fill out paperwork.
Boy, he doing a number in the transfer portal.
Since he had no transcripts, he had to enroll as a freshman, and here's where he would choose to get a shot at playing high school basketball again. It didn't take long for him to make a name for himself on the basketball court.
25-year-old freshman, just keep that in mind, bro. 25. Your brain fully developed. You at this point, you only getting older. You ain't getting younger no more. 25. How old is a regular freshman? 14, 15?
He reportedly amazed everybody at the very first team practice with his driving skills and his ability to shoot the ball. He would keep a low profile in school, barely ever going, and when he was there, he would mostly have his headphones on all day so he wouldn't blow his cover. Once the season started, however, it became impossible for him to hide. I know everybody has the same question. Was he cooking or not? I'll be honest, I did some digging, and they scraped a lot of his stats off the internet. Almost everything, but the key word here is almost. I found enough to paint a picture. He took it easy in his first couple games. In his first game, he would score 19 in a loss to Wilmer Hutchins. Then in the next game, he would score 13 of his team's total 24 points in a loss to Skyline, which was his original school of choice, if you remember. After these 2 games, Hillcrest would be scheduled for a weekend road trip to the Louisiana Hardwood Classic tournament, where they would play against the #1 team in the nation, Southwest Christian Academy, out of Little Rock. Here's where things would change. According to the team manager, this is a game where Hillcrest changed their offense from their pass-heavy Princeton offense to a new give the ball to Rashawn offense. He would score 40 points in 3 quarters in an upset victory. And now Sidney, who just turned 25.
Bro, he's 25 stuck in a 13-year-old's body. Arms still scrawny as hell. I wouldn't be able to tell.
Is now the man at Hillcrest High School.
I dropped 40 in 3 quarters on the #1 team in the nation. That's true though.
Bro, you gotta stop telling people this, gang. You was 25 too. Like you gotta tell the full story, bro.
That was in Louisiana, 40 3/4. I didn't even get to play the fourth quarter. The coach after the game shook my head. He was like, "Damn, you trying to go for 60 on me?" Yeah, like it was really up there. I was really hooping like this.
The following games, he would score 27 points versus Samuel
25 playing against 15-year-olds. How you even get an interview? Like they'll interview anybody, to be real.
39 points versus Spruce and 28 points versus Kimball, all in wins.
He
was absolutely dominating. Hillcrest would lose in the first round of the playoffs to Seagoville, and Rashawn would only score 17 points, and the team finished the year with a record of 11-10. But his play earned him the District 11-5A Offensive Player of the Year award. According to him, his final averages were outrageous.
The numbers you're putting up are crazy. What's the numbers that you're putting up around this time?
Like 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists, and shit like that.
Boy out there putting up Shea numbers, gang.
After the playoffs, he completely stopped showing up to class. He never went back to Hillcrest. He didn't even show up to get his Offensive Player of the Year award. Now, the season is over, and Sydney's mission was accomplished. He came, he had a great season. Now, he can take his game film and send it to some overseas teams and hopefully make a way for himself. His master plan appeared to be successful until May 2018, when everything would unravel for Sydney.
The new guard playing for the Hillcrest High basketball team in Dallas this past season turned a lot of heads. He would sometimes drop 30 or more points in a game. Turns out he really was a man among boys. Tony DeCopel has the score.
It was a year to remember for Rashoon Richardson, leading his basketball team to the playoffs this winter and earning the District Offensive Player of the Year award. There was just one problem. Authorities say the supposedly 17-year-old Richardson was actually this man, 25-year-old Sidney Gilstrap Portley, looking for a second taste of athletic glory.
Dude, bro, what do you do, like, if you see your brother or your boyfriend or dad, because they say he got kids on TV, and it says 25-year-old poses as high school basketball player. I got so many questions for him. Like, did he quit his job in this time period? What was he doing whenever he got off? When he left practice, was he like, because there's no way he's just leaving practice and just getting inside the car and leaving school at the same time. You feel me? You still going to your classes, right? Lunch? Who do you hang around at lunch? And nobody asked for goddamn Instagrams or Facebook or whatever the hell it is.
5-year-old Sidney Gilstrap Portley, looking for a second taste of athletic glory.
On May 11, 2018, at 11:52 p.m., Sidney was at his girlfriend's apartment in Mesquite when over 10 cops showed up at the door, and he was arrested and charged with tampering with government records, which is a felony. It was then revealed that 17-year-old Rashawn Richardson was actually 25-year-old Sidney Gilstrap Portley. By the time he bonded out a few days later, his name was getting national attention. Pretty much every major media outlet covered the story. He was even labeled Donkey of the Day by Power 105 Charlemagne the God. According to reports, a coach at North Mesquite High School, which was his original high school, recognized him at a tournament and alerted the Dallas Independent School District, and that's where things started to fall apart.
He flew under the radar until a former coach at North Mesquite High School recognized him as a former player of theirs.
Sidney, however, has another theory on who might have blown his cover.
They had it in the paper that your old coach from North Mesquite recognized you, and that's how everything got tipped off. Is that true?
He wasn't even in no games, but I'm thinking this ref was at the games, and his son used to go to North Mesquite with me, and he called me to the score table, and he was like, what's your name? And I told him the name that I made up, which is Rashawn Richardson.
Yeah.
And he was like, you look familiar. I was like, nah, I'm up here from Houston or whatever. And he was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, I came up here with my brother or whatever. And he talked to me for about 20-25 minutes, so it could have been him. And then there was another that was in my class that went to West Mesquite. He was actually at a game at the South Oak Cliff game, and he kept looking at me, so I kind of already knew.
Now, I don't know who that ref is.
Yeah, I would have called the cops on him too, boy. You done lost your goddamn mind. 25 hooping against these little motherfuckers that ain't even done with puberty, bro. They balls barely just dropped. You ain't got no business running up and down the court. Dropping 40 balls on them too, gang. Like, you out here popping it overly. Like, if you was dropping 20, we'll just let you rock. But 40? We got to put an end to this.
But he definitely said something. Maybe he wasn't the first or he wasn't the only one to say something, but he definitely alerted authorities. Because imagine you tell somebody, hey, my name's Rashawn, I'm from Houston.
How old is Zion Williamson? This is like if Zion went back to high school right now. Bro, put him in the pen, bro. 24, and their response is, 23 are you sure?
Like, what do you mean, am I sure? So I'm with Sydney. I think the ref's the one that told everybody. But honestly, I'm surprised he even got away with it as long as he did. According to Sydney, he was well known in the city of Dallas.
So were you surprised you was able to get away with this for so long?
Hell yeah, like everybody know me, like a lot of people know me.
Not only that, but he was also pursuing a rap career, and his rap name was Sin Boo, which is short for his first and middle name, Sidney Bouvier. His PlayStation username, which he used to play 2K and Fortnite with his teammates, was Sidney Gilstrap.
No.
He had his initials SG.
No. No. You telling me he leaving school and getting on Fortnite with his teammates? With the 15-year-olds? So what they talking about? There has to be more to the story that we don't know about, gang. What was they talking about in the game?
Tattooed on his calves, which people just...
Because you know, usually whenever you be on the game with your boys, gang, y'all talking about girls, especially like 15, 16, 17. So what he be saying, gang? Yo, what's up, Slum?
Assumed stood for shooting guard. He was really hiding in plain sight. Some students did note that he did look a little older, but they thought nothing of it.
You look older, but when you first see someone, you don't question them.
The team manager even mentioned that on his Instagram, he took
What's up, Norjor Hendricks?
Took pictures like her uncle. One of the forwards on the basketball team, Avi Ahmed, who claimed to be the strongest player on the team, said that when they played against each other and when Sidney would drive to the basket, that he had never felt that kind of strength before. He also pointed out how deep Sidney's voice was.
He talks like that. His voice deep as like,
yeah. What was abusing them
so
little
if you're
kids,
wondering how he was able to get away with this for so long, you're not alone. But
child
then again,
abuse.
When you're in high school, you're not expecting a grown man to go undercover as one of your classmates. Plus, everybody had people in their school that looked way older than everybody else. And if you look at Sidney, he doesn't really look that old at all.
He doesn't, bro. Like this 25-year-old, if he said he was 17, I would believe it. He barely got chin hairs. He barely got a mustache. I believe it.
He was having these spectacular games, but if you look in these crowds, these games are pretty empty, which helped him stay under the radar. I'm just confused as to why he chose a school in Dallas, the city that he was born and raised in. Dallas is the 9th biggest city in America, so maybe he thought he would blend in, but there's no way he thought that nobody was ever going to notice him.
He said, when I was a senior, I met a nigga who was a 19-year-old freshman. Was he like new to the United States, or he was born and raised here?
The news broke, there were people who thought of Sidney as weird, but a lot of people were calling him brave too. I mean,
that got to be one of them ESL students, gang, that finally beat the ESL classes.
So that most athletes have wondered how dominant they would be if they went back to high school sports. But that's just a quick thought. You would think nobody would ever go through the process and actually do it.
But if y'all went back to high school right now, how much do y'all think y'all would average, like, in your sport? Like, whether it be basketball or football. Probably, like, I ain't gonna kill. Easily a 30 ball, because you wouldn't, just don't shoot the ball. You know how easy it is to hoop on them? They little bodies, like, they don't got no type of muscle on them.
High school basketball, how much would you average right now? Comment.
Like, your 35 ball, gang. I'm throwing nothing but, not even throwing elbows, gang. I'm just running into the paint with the ball every single time.
Down below. This actually isn't the first time that something like this happened. Just 2 years before this, in April...
No, bro, this is my kind. Bruh, gang. I could tell the pseudo whenever I see one, bro. South Sudanese, you can't really fake this. Because it's like, off the dribble, most of our hairlines already be fried. Like, motherfuckers be having McDonald's hairlines at 16. And then, like, you blacker. Then your eyes is tinted just a tad bit yellow. Like, you know, bro. You kind of look like a pirate, tad bit. I ain't gonna kill. So it's like, you already look older.
2016, 17-year-old Jonathan Nicola.
Boy, he is not 17.
Who was a star of Catholic Central High School team in Ontario, Canada.
Stop it. This is Uncle Quat. Uncle Dang. Hell no, bruh. He probably got three wives in South Sudan. A bunch of goats. I could keep going, gang. I could tell by the goatee.
Was arrested after police found out that he was allegedly a 30-year-old man from South Sudan. In 2010, also in Texas, 22-year-old Gerdwich Montnemere was arrested after enrolling.
Bro, 25 is one thing, but 30, bro. Crazy thing is, I'm telling you, I know a few people that's doing this right now. Because whenever you come from over there, bro, you could just lie on your birth certificate. Everybody got the same birthday. They all say January 1, and then you just pick whatever year you want to pick, and that's your new birthday. Like, I kid you not. If I was fresh coming to America, I could say January 1, 2012. All of a sudden, I'm 13, gang?
After police found out that he was allegedly a 30-year-old man from South Sudan. In 2010, also in Texas, 22-year-old Gerdwich Montnemere was arrested after enrolling at Permian High School in Odessa, Texas, as a 16-year-old freshman by the name of Jerry Joseph.
For more than a year, he successfully convinced school officials, students, even law enforcement that he was 16-year-old Jerry Joseph, an immigrant from Haiti.
I couldn't imagine not playing basketball right now.
He flew under the radar in plain sight as a basketball star, even being featured in a news story after the devastating Haiti earthquake. His coach, Danny Wright.
How old y'all think he is? He said he was 16. 27. I'm going with 27.
Had sympathy and took him into his own home.
In January 2023, 22-year-old Arlisha Boykins, who was an assistant coach on the Churchland Girls Junior Varsity basketball team in Portsmouth, Virginia, actually impersonated a real 13-year-old student who was just out of town for one game. Arlisha never got arrested, but the school did fire her.
Okay, that's crazy, though. Oh, she was an assistant girls coach? So, like, she was already working there? So, this is like if I was a Little League coach and one of my Little League little kids, you know what I'm saying? His mama, I've been hitting for a few weeks now, you know, ever since he joined the team. You know how Little League coaches do it. But boom, his mama called me and he said, yeah, little man can't come tonight. He caught the flu. I'm like, damn, little man, that's our QB. Like, we need him. He can't. He's sick. He's in the hospital. And I'm like, man, fuck it. And I sub in and become little man. That's basically what she did. Coaches fired 22. She's so stupid. How you gonna do this at the same place you work at? I could see if you came from somewhere else and you came and joined the basketball team like the rest of these players, but wait, you gonna sub in knowing you work there?
We're back with a high school basketball coach now finding herself in the hot seat.
Can you believe this? She allegedly posed as a student athlete, played in a game alongside the other teenagers.
What?
I know.
Scandal on the court in Virginia in this junior varsity girls basketball game with a coach posing as a player. Player in the black jersey wearing number 1 with the slick moves, scoring baskets, and high-fiving other players was actually no player at all. She's Arlisha Boykins, a member of the Churchland Truckers coaching staff. Boykins suiting up and playing as if she were a student in a weekend game against the Nansemond River Warriors last month. The district says Arlisha Boykins is no longer an employee. Her last day of work was January 25th. The head coach for the junior varsity team was also fired.
Now, this next one has never been officially verified.
That's so pointless, though. Like, you threw your job away for what? It was just one game. And, like, the WNBA, what's the upside to that? WNBA, the highest league, they make 80, 90, 100K. They make engineer salaries. At least, like, the other guy, like, the dude that came from South Sudan, like, I can understand. If you make it all the way to the NBA, you feel me? NBA. Overseas, couple million. This, you threw it away for what?
But there was strong allegations that former NBA player Thon Maker was lying about his age as well.
Yes, he was, bro. Yes, he was. It's not a coincidence that they got 2 pseudos on here. I'm telling you, yes, he was.
Oh.
Whatever age he said he was whenever he got drafted, subtract 10 years.
I want to ask you about some of the stories we heard today about your age and the questions about whether you're 19 or how old you are.
29.
What is your response to some of these allegations?
I didn't have a response for it because I know it's not true. And if it were true, it would have made me angry. I know it's not true. And obviously, that's why. Obviously, it's not true. That's why it didn't get to me.
So how old are you?
I'm 19.
He allegedly graduated from Aranmore Catholic College in Perth, Australia, in the class of 2010 as an 18-year-old. Then he came to America in 2012 and enrolled as a freshman at Carlisle School in Martinsville, Virginia, where he became a star. If the rumors are true, then Thon was a 20-year-old freshman who already graduated high school in another country. No charges were ever filed and no arrests were ever made, and this is officially still just a rumor. Now, out of all these stories, None of the impersonators have ever spoken about these situations since they came about. But Sidney, on the other hand, a few weeks after bonding out from his May arrest, began to do interviews with major Dallas YouTube channels Real Life Productions and Say Cheese TV.
He got to say
He wanted to use this viral moment to promote his music career and maybe even monetize the situation. Both interviews, he was asked what he was trying to accomplish, which he would tell them that he was basically just trying to find a way out.
What is your angle, fam? Like,
I was gonna probably hoop this whole season, get some film, and then go overseas by this summer. Like, I wasn't about to stay at the all 4 years.
So what exactly were you after?
To either get some film and take my to overseas to make some money and take care of the people. That's all it was.
This alone made people almost admire what he did. They saw that he had a charming personality and saw that he was taking accountability for what he did, and the story had everybody hooked. Producers from This American Life and from ESPN flew down to meet with him and possibly make some kind of documentary about his story, and Sidney had hopes of a movie deal. One detail that was reported during his arrest couldn't seem to go away though, and what started out as a rumor ended up at the forefront, and things would take a dark turn.
No, bro. No. Nigga always get got by lust. I'm already knowing. It's what it gotta be. He sold the bag. Let me see.
When Sidney was first arrested, it was also reported that while he was at Hillcrest High School, he was in a relationship with a 14-year-old girl. He initially denied that it ever happened.
One of the controversial
Boy, overly pre-ordered. Like, overly pre-ordered, man. 14? Damn near like a David situation. This might be worse than David, really, to be real. Because 25 and 14, gang, that's like 10 years, gang, bro. What is it? He sold, fam. He was finna get an ESPN documentary. Everybody was going to forgive him. You know, you could pivot, become a basketball coach, and just tell, you know, you had so many stories to tell.
Things in the article was that you was dating a 14-year-old.
Never. Come on now, I got a whole baby mama at home.
Okay, yeah, so we need to kill media.
Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all need to go ahead and kill that.
yeah, because it did have you looking crazy.
Weeks later, however, on July 3rd, 2018, he was arrested on charges of indecency with a minor.
New charges for the 25-year-old man accused of posing as a high school student in Dallas just so he could play on the basketball team. Sidney Gilstrap Portley is being charged with indecency of a child because police believe he dated a 14-year-old girl while pretending to be a student.
The girl and her mother told police that she and Sidney had dated for a brief period while he was at Hillcrest. The girl, who believed that he was 17, told police that they kissed and texted, but nothing further occurred and there was no sexual contact.
Damn, lil' bro.
While we won't ever be fully sure of what happened between the two, the mother of the girl did reveal that she had texted Sidney to better know who her daughter was dealing with, and she provided those text messages to news outlets.
I would like to meet you as well so that you can feel at least a little comfortable with her being around me. That's why I had her home before 8:45, so you won't think nothing extra going on.
This new charge ruined all change.
Ah, hell nah. He 25 sending this. So you won't think like trying to respect you and not be a typical male. But hey, he's 25 with a kid and a baby mama.
So you won't think nothing extra going on.
This new charge with a kid and a baby all chances of this being a feel-good story. One would have to think, if the plan was just to get some game film, why do all the extra stuff?
This is the definition of peaked in high school, bro. You peaked in high school so bad that you spun back. Like, life didn't get no better, so you say, you know what, I'm going back, gang. I'm going back.
He pleaded guilty to the tampering and indecency charges and avoided jail time, being sentenced to 6 years of probation. The production companies that were interested in his story suddenly wanted nothing to do with him, and if you look at his interviews, he's all smiles, and that's because now he has national attention, which he says is going to be his way to provide for his family, whether a movie comes from this or if it boosts his rap career. His willingness to do whatever it takes and make a way for himself is bold, but this stunt could be considered as selfish, just like his early high school coaches said about him, because it affected a lot of people in the process. The girl he dated was so embarrassed that she had to transfer schools, and her family also sued the Dallas Independent School Department for negligence. The Hillcrest basketball team had to forfeit every game that Sydney played in that year. The school district made their laws on accepting homeless students much stricter, which will only affect students that are actually homeless. The narrative around Sydney is that he was trying to relive his high school glory days, but according to him, he never had any glory days. He averaged 7.7 points per game in his first high school stint. At a glance, it looks like maybe he just wasn't good, but it was his attitude problems that held him
0 3-pointers made
back. According to everybody, the talent was always there. His one chance he got to shine at North Mesquite, he scored 22 points off the bench and was kicked off the team shortly after. Him going back to Hillcrest to have another crack at high school was a risky move, and he ended up paying the price. These days, Sydney is on YouTube giving motivational talks, and he's still pursuing his rap career.
Shit, I mean, at least he free.